Welcome to the dojo, Young Samurai.
Konnichiwa, young ninja. It's Chris Bradford, author of the Young Samurai series. Welcome to my Ninja Night Read. And I'm going to be reading to you from the sampler, Young Samurai, The Way of Fire. Over the next 14 nights, I'm going to read a chapter to you and give you a little bit of a sense of Jack and Akiko's adventures in Japan. You can follow along if you'd like to. You can download the ebook from Amazon anytime you want. There is an offer on from the 6th to the 12th of April 2020, where you can download the ebook for free on Amazon UK. So we can read together and be together when we're doing this. Otherwise, you can follow along online with me at my YouTube or author site. Chris Bradford Author is my channel. I hope you enjoy the story. So settle down. Be ready, ninjas. We're about to begin The Way of Fire. Chapter 1. Goshuku. Koyosan, Japan, October 1612. Run! Bellowed Sensei Hosokawa, directing Jack over a fallen log in the forest. Driven on by Swordmaster's command, Jack sprinted along the narrow log. His feet slid from under him, and Jack flung out his arms in a desperate attempt to keep his balance. Out of nowhere, a thick shaft of bamboo swung straight at his head. Jack ducked, the rock-hard stem barely missing his skull. He stumbled on a few more paces and had almost reached the end of the log when he was caught in the gut by a second bamboo cane. It sprang out of the forest, knocking him to the ground. Reeling from the blow and spitting dirt, Jack struggled to all fours. His right hand grabbed at the log for support, then flared with pain as someone stamped on his fingers. He cried out. Through eyes screwed up in agony, Jack glimpsed the receding figure of his arch-rival Kazuki running across the clearing ahead of him. "Keep up, Gaijin," shouted Kazuki over his shoulder. The throbbing in Jack's hand was now replaced by a burst of anger at seeing Kazuki's gloating face disappearing among the tall cedar trees in the direction of the next training challenge. A dark-haired Japanese girl dropped down beside Jack. "Are you all right?" she asked, breathless from just having crossed the log herself. "You didn't break your fingers, did you?" "I'll be fine," replied Jack through gritted teeth, looking into the face of his best friend, Akiko. "You did that on purpose," she exclaimed, her pretty half-moon eyes narrowing in annoyance. "Don't worry about it," said Jack, having spotted Sensei Kyozo, their taijutsu master, emerge from the forest. "Looks like I've got worse problems than Kazuki." "Get up," snarled Sensei Kyozo, his beady eyes boring into Jack. The ill-tempered sensei was smaller than Jack, but as ferocious as an Akita fighting dog. He taught unarmed combat at the Nitten Ichi-Ru, the samurai school in Kyoto that was governed by Jack's guardian, the legendary swordmaster Masamoto Takeshi. Sensei Kyozo briefly glanced at Akiko. "What are you waiting for? This is a Goshuku, not a tea ceremony. Keep moving." Akiko threw Jack an uneasy smile and ran on. "So, you're a monk for 3 days then?" mocked Sensei Kyozo, glaring down at Jack as if the blonde-haired, blue-eyed English boy was something vile he'd just trodden him. "But I'm not training to be a monk," Jack replied, getting to his feet and giving his teacher a bewildered look. "I want to be a samurai warrior." Sensei Kyozo shook his head with disgust. "Ignorant foreigners," he snorted. "To be a monk for 3 days means giving up at the first sign of difficulty. I shouldn't be so surprised. I always knew that a gaijin like you wouldn't last long at Goshuku." "Not giving up," Jack countered, annoyed by his teacher's unfair harassment. "How was I to know you'd spring bamboo traps on me?" "Zan-shin," stated Sensei Kyozo. Jack stared blankly at his taijutsu master. He hadn't yet been taught about Zan-shin at the Nitten Ichi-Ru. Sensei Kyozo rolled his eyes in irritation. Zanshin is a warrior's awareness of their surroundings and the enemy. It should be instinctive. Give me 20 crescent kicks for failing such a basic training task. Several other students sprinted by while Jack carried out his punishment. Having already hiked up the steep slopes of Mount Koya before dawn as a warm-up to his training, Jack soon felt the burn in the muscles of his legs. Every crescent kick was like fighting with feet made of stone. The grueling exercise caused Jack's breath to catch in his throat, and he thought he was going to throw up. But since he hadn't been allowed to eat breakfast yet, Jack doubted he would vomit anything more than bile. By his 15th kick, he's beginning to question his decision to volunteer so readily for the school's annual gashuku. But Yamato, the second-born son of Masamoto and one of Jack's few friends, had told him it was a privilege to attend the samurai training camp. Held in Koyo-san, an ancient complex of Buddhist temples, the camp was located 2 days south of Kyoto, in a secluded valley, thick with forests and surrounded by the 8 peaks of the Mount Koya range. Yamato suggested the intensive tuition would help them in their preparation for the selection trials for the Circle of Three later that year. This had been all the incentive Jack needed, and he jumped at the chance. Besides, since only 15 students and 3 teachers were allowed to go, Jack hoped that the gashuku would give him a break from the bigoted instruction of Sensei Kyozo and the bullying he'd been suffering at the hands of Kazuki and his gang. But the gashuku had been proved to be no break at all. It had been nothing but a regime of training, food, training, and occasionally a little sleep. And he hadn't counted on both Sensei Kyozo and Kazuki being there. Once Jack had finished his kicks, Sensei Kyozo dismissed him with a bored wave of his hand before returning to the forest to set more bamboo traps for unsuspecting students. Jack ran on as fast as his exhausted legs would carry him. He didn't want to be the final student to complete that test that morning, since the last was always given extra fitness training. He followed the path that wound through the forest, the immense cedar trees on either side of him stretching so high that they seemed to touch the clouds, their branches blocking out the early morning sun and leaving much of the path in shadow. Misty with morning dew, the forest was an eerie place to be alone, and Jack was glad when he emerged into another clearing. A group of students were gathering around Sensei Yamada, the third and final teacher to accompany them on the gashuku. The ancient Zen philosophy master, with his long wispy grey beard floating in the breeze, was pointing to something on the ground, beside a large stack of wood. Jack spotted Yamato among the onlookers, recognizing him by his spiky hair. He joined his friend at the edge of the clearing and leant forward to get a better look at what Sensei Yamada was talking to the students about. All Jack could see was an uninviting area of swamp. A tall, elegant girl with arrow-straight black hair saying, "Swim in that? Sensei, is this some sort of joke?" The girl was Emi, the daughter of Daimyo Takatomi, the lord of Kyoto province and one of the most powerful men in Japan. "I'm perfectly serious," replied Sensei Yamada with a mischievous twinkle in his eye. Jack and the others inspected the noxious patch of oozing mud with dismay. No one in their right mind would walk across it, let alone swim in it. If you'd like to join me for the next chapter of The Way of Fire, please come back online to my channel, Chris Bradford, author on YouTube, and we can read along together and we can be together. Sayonara.